Hussein bin Ali organized and executed the betrayal of the Ottoman Empire. He betrayed the Ottoman Empire by getting support from the British with the hope of establishing a great Arab empire and becoming its leader. Welcome to the story of the man who led the Arab betrayal against the Ottoman Empire. This is the story of Sharif Hussein, the guy who stabbed the Ottoman Empire in the back and organized the Arab revolt. Sharif Hussein, whose full name was Sharif bin Ali al-Hashmi, was born in Istanbul in 1852. He belonged to an old family in charge of protecting Mecca. He went to Istanbul in 1861 upon the death of his father. He then went to Mecca with his uncle Amir Abdullah and completed his education there in 1893. He was summoned to Istanbul by Sultan Abdul Hamid because of his intrigues for the Arabs to revolt in Mecca. Sharif Hussein lived in Istanbul with his family for 16 more years in the mansion allocated to him by the Sultan. After Sultan Abdul Hamid II was deposed, he was then appointed the Emir of Mecca in place of his uncle who had died, initially appearing to be loyal to the Ottoman Empire. Hussein's real aim was to strengthen his position as Emir and to ensure the emirate would remain in his family permanently. In the meantime, since he had seen the Ottoman Empire's deteriorating situation over the years, he realized its diminishing power in the Arab geography and thought to capitalize, as he dreams of establishing an Arab empire and becoming its leader, if the opportunity arose, by relying on the British. During this period, he established close relations with Britain through his son Abdullah, and he then started contacts with Herbert Kitchener and the British High Commission to Egypt. Then the famous British spy Lawrence came into play and managed the whole process at the time. The outbreak of the First World War and the entry of the Ottoman Empire into the war on the side of Germany. This caused Britain to intensify its propaganda inciting the Arabs to revolt against the Ottoman Empire. From the beginning of 1915, Britain, which had already realized Sharif Hussein's desire to revolt and knew his idea of establishing an Arab kingdom and becoming its leader, the British thought they could use Sharif Hussein, the Emir of Mecca, to spread these policies in the Arabian Peninsula. For this reason, they immediately contacted Hussein and assured him that if he helped them, they would protect him against any foreign attack. Hussein, on the other hand, asked Britain for money, weapons, ammunition and supplies to revolt. Britain saw a way to achieve its goals in the Arab revolt, so it did not spare any material aid necessary for the revolt in 1915. At this stage, the Ottoman Empire was unaware of the rapprochement between Britain and Sharif Hussein. In the meantime, Sharif took advantage of the tense atmosphere created when Jamal Pasha, one of the Ottoman commanders known as the Butcher of Syria, beheaded some Arabs in Beirut and Damascus, whom he accused of betraying the state. Hussein then ignited a rebellion in Mecca on June 5, 1916, with British guidance in his Declaration of Independence issued on June the 26th. Hussein accused the Ottoman Empire of straying away from Islam and stated that jihad of the Arabs against the Turks is obligatory. Thus, the revolt started on June 5th, where his son Faisal attacked the Turkish garrison in Mecca. It continued to June 10th, where he attacked a 1,400-strong Turkish guard unit in the Kaaba. The Mecca garrison fell to the Arabs within 3 weeks. An attack began on Jeddah, supported by British warships and aircraft. On June 13th, rebels captured Jeddah. On September 17th, Ta'if fell. Thus, all important cities in Hijaz except Medina completely fell into rebel hands. The reasons why the Arabs and the British could not capture Medina was due to a legendary defense of Farahiddin Pasha, named the Desert Tiger, one of the Ottoman commanders. The Ottomans were unexpectedly stabbed in the back by the brothers in religion. Sharif Hussein, who took control of the Hijaz region, declared himself as the king of the Arab world on November 2nd, 1916. However, he experienced his first shock at that moment, because Britain and France announced on January 3rd, 1917, that they recognized him as only the king of Hijaz. The British deceived Sharif Khan with the promise that they would make him king and Khalif of all Arabs and incited him to revolt. In fact, the British and French had already divided the entire Middle East between them with the Sykes-Picot Agreement with France on May 16th, 1916, 20 days before Sharif Hussein started the rebellion. After the rebellion, Sharif Hussein realized more and more each year that he was being used by the British, and gradually the relationship between Sharif Hussein and Britain deteriorated after World War I. Instead of the great Arab kingdom he dreamed of, 7 separate states were formed on lands torn from the Ottoman Empire. On March 6, 1924, the Caliphate was abolished. Sharif Hussein and his weapons had now been turned against him on October 16, 1924. With British support of Abdul Aziz ibn Saud, he ended Sharif Hussein's kingdom. Sharif was later exiled to Cyprus. His exile lasted until 1930, where he fell ill and died a year later on June 4th, 1931. He was buried in Jerusalem. This is how the story ends.